Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Must Reapply. Once upon a time, I worked as a paramedic, and during that time decided to be a keen helper and volunteer for my service's new, fancy, expensive response program. Essentially, you rode around in an SUV and answered 911 calls, improving the stats because the response time to the house was faster. Then a full ambulance got there when they could. Thing is, it was lonely work. You didn't have a partner, you didn't get to chat with nurses and doctors at the hospital, and you never got to go back to base. So, shockingly, it wasn't popular, and most of us decided to go back to our regular partners. Also, it required an extra training program put on by the service. But the service had promised big performance to the city investing. No paramedics on the SUVs, no program. So they decided to force those of us that had volunteered back onto the SUVs, irritating us and our partners. We had volunteered in good faith to help out, with the understanding we could go back after the 6 months we committed to. Time goes on, and we are all weary and bitter, and the union can't figure out how to put an end to it. A sloppy supervisor wants to try again to recruit more SUV medics. He goes ahead and quickly writes an email, advising that another training session is going to be run for anyone interested in the SUV program. And, just so they know the numbers they have, anyone who wanted back in from our cohort must reapply. Okay, says the union. And since the language in an email from a supervisor is binding, they quickly told those of us that wanted out to just ignore the email and not reapply. It wasn't how the management meant it, but just like that we had our loophole and were all finally free. And sure, never volunteered for another project again. The next story is called Told You So. About 10 years ago, I worked at a popular chain Italian restaurant. I was a dishwasher. We had these square plastic things that we put glasses and wine glasses in to put them through the machine to clean and then to dry. The plastic holders were stackable. Our store was very busy, and so we had a lot of glassware. At the end of the night, we would stack them on a square metal thing with wheels, which we simply called wheels. You could stack like 5 or 6 high. Each holder held about 16-ish glasses. We could then easily move them around and put them in the back to clean floors, workstations, etc. For weeks we had been telling management that one set of wheels is broken. It still holds the glasses, but one wheel is missing half, and so it's a semicircle instead of a circle. Nothing gets done. This fateful night I was closing. We get mostly done, and we filled all the wheels and put them all in the back except one set. The manager comes by. Move these glasses to the back. I can't, boss. It's the broken one. It will tip over. I said move it. Okay. I walk over with him watching and try to push the tower of wine glasses. It's 6 holders tall. The wheels don't move, but since I'm pushing, something has to. The whole thing leans one way, and the holders come apart halfway up. So just imagine 3 on the bottom going one way, as the 3 on top kind of stay in place like a hinge. All 6 come crashing down. Glass shatters everywhere, as wine glass stems are easily breakable. I started laughing. Couldn't help it. It was hilarious. You think that's funny? Yes, I do. I told you that would happen. I believe there were 4 glasses out of the stack that didn't break. The last story is called Not My Job. I was working for a manufacturer years ago. It was a small operation run by a husband, CEO, and wife, with a sister business of a front-end platform that was run by the wife's brother. The husband's mom and some cousins also worked there between the 2 businesses. With an operation like this, you had the typical micromanagement from the CEO, the minimum wage pay for top dollar performance expectations, and the general nonsense you can expect in a setup like this. I had this job while in college and needed to build my resume. They let me have a flexible schedule, so I could leave early for my night classes and when I had midterms and finals. So I knew I had to stick it out. After about 6 months of working there, my job responsibilities grew tremendously, but my salary did not. There was a high turnover rate in the office from the "we are family" environment. It meant the actual family got special treatment, and everyone else was expected to do a crazy amount of work without getting any credit. One of my friends, we'll call her Katie, was looking for work, and my company was hiring. I told her what she was getting into, but as a recent college grad looking for office experience, she decided to give it a shot. First, my referral bonus never came, even after she had worked there for 90 days. I was told that I shouldn't inquire about it, because I referred someone to head the company, not to get the extra money. I wasn't in a position to push, so I didn't. I trained Katie in her role, as she was taking some of my old responsibilities. Well, the CEO and the wife didn't like how much time the two of us spent talking to each other, or how much time we spent away from our desks, which was generally us using the restroom and getting water. This made no sense because I handled product onboarding and Katie suggested products for curated events. So it was important that she knew what new products were coming out and when she could start promoting them so that stock wouldn't sit in the warehouse. We separately had meetings with the CEO and office manager putting us on probation for this behavior. Cue Malicious Compliance. We stopped talking as much in the office, effectively cutting me off from curated events and making it impossible for Katie to use our new products at upcoming events. Events could be scheduled anywhere from a week to several months in advance, so it was a great way to boost sales and visibility for our new items. My friend ended up getting fired for having a brain and questioning some of the stupid policies. Also for doing something so outrageous as taking her unpaid lunch hour, showing up at 9 and leaving at 5. Normally, I would have gone back into the platforms to curate events until they found someone to take over the role, but I was petty. I had been there for a little over a year. I was training employees, teaching myself the ins and outs of all our retailers' backends to upload products, coordinating with our factories overseas, the freight companies, and our warehouse so that products would be live as soon as we had stock. And I was still getting paid like I did for the minimal role I had when I got hired. So, not my job, not my problem. Fast forward a few months. The CEO decides to show up to work on the office floor instead of working out of his private office. Whenever he was on the floor, he was always super loud and disruptive to the general flow. I hear him talk about sales from the past few months, specifically about sales from events, so naturally my ears perk up. He starts getting louder. I don't get it. There's this huge decline in sales. None of our new products are getting any traction. I haven't been addressed, so I keep tapping away at my computer and acted oblivious. He calls over the office manager and they start hashing it out. 6 months ago, the sales for our new items went down significantly. That's when you told me and Katie to stop talking. Then, 3 months ago, they became almost non-existent. Sales have dropped almost 70% with these events. 3 months ago is when Katie got fired. Eventually, the two of them piece together that they need to blame whoever is curating events. The CEO starts asking everyone in the office, whose responsibility is it to work on events? Finally, it gets to a point where I can't stay quiet. The office is too small and I play too big of a role in product management, so I chime in. Oh, wasn't that Katie's responsibility? The CEO replies, she hasn't worked here in 3 months. You mean to tell me no one has been submitting products for 3 months? He is livid, and it's clear that I am now in the path of his rage. Why has no one been handling this? Everyone is kind of looking around, and the office manager, let's call her Karen, starts shifting the blame onto me, since technically Katie was in my department. Once the finger pointing started, I was prepared to defend myself. Well, Karen, I thought you were the one who was in charge of managing and keeping track of every employee's role. So Karen replies, I am, but you knew this is an important part of our sales and marketing. I replied with, the week before she was let go. Didn't you specifically get all of her passwords and a complete list of all her tasks? Karen replies, yes. She is clearly concerned with where I'm going with this. And after she was let go, did you communicate to me that those tasks were now my responsibility? Well, no, but I shouldn't have had to. But you are in charge of delegating tasks and making sure all work is assigned to employees. Are you implying that I was supposed to know that you had a list of tasks unassigned? Why would I assume that you didn't delegate those to another team member when that's an essential part of your role? Needless to say, while Karen was very annoyed with me, I wasn't taking the fall. They didn't ask me to curate events. Karen handled that, which got them to hire another person very quickly because it was too much work for her on top of her other duties. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.